G'day, I'm Jordan, the writer and director of Samurai Unicorn.
And I'm Adam, the art director.
We're going to do a playthrough of our first patron demo and try to give you a little insight into some of the thought processes that go into designing this introductory mission, as well as tease some of the recent updates we've made for Demo 2. So let's jump straight into it. So Chloe and Gabe, they've been led here. They're gonna break into the abandoned Goliath offices and sort of look for any sort of suspicious evidence that could lead to the results of the case that they're working on. I don't know why I'm trying to be like super vague about the plotline, but
it's very spooky and mysterious. Also a sneaky Easter egg in the background.
Yeah, that's the updated It's Got Stealth logo that Ridge has done for us recently. And I guess this build, you're going to see like a lot of slightly different things from the currently available Patreon build. This will be more of a, I guess, like a Demo 2 thing because, you know, like it's going to have all these changes. The first major one is going to be the new Goliath statue that Poppy has recently done. It used to be like a lot more low poly, which was like an intentional direction, but you know, when you're working with like a sort of a low poly world, when you go for like an intentionally low poly looking thing that's even more low poly, it kind of stands out in a weird way, I guess.
I think the original intent was to make it more shiny as well, which we haven't really done much in the project. Like everything is kind of deliberately not shiny and doesn't have specular on it and stuff like that. So trying to go for like a reflective metal doesn't really work as well.
So this is one of the recent updates as well, is these little signs that Ridge has made just to help a little bit more, I don't know, like player navigation without needing to open the map. It's like a relatively simple sort of level design, this opening area. You know, you'll see that it's kind of a simple circuit, and I don't know if our level design is going to get overly complicated or maze-like, but there will be more like sort of arms and looping sections in the future that are, I guess, more optional.
I feel like what we've got so far is pretty good, where it's kind of like you've got big, obvious rooms, a pretty linear way to go forward, but then in those you'll have maze segments where you're allowed to get confused and you're allowed to be like, where do I can see the ending, how do I get there?
It's like trying to find that fine line between a sort of like a Resident Evil 2 Raccoon City Police Department or like a Demon's Souls level with sort of looping level design where, you know, you'll go down a side path, but it will sort of like loop back onto the main path in a satisfying way, so that you feel like you're exploring side areas, but you know, you're always led back to the way that progresses the story.
Yeah. Another
change there is I've actually moved around the orders of the first two major items that you find in this room. I put the security pass a little bit more in sight now because we're trying to encourage players to actually find that shotgun early. I guess like a lot of our patrons have been playing this, and it's kind of easy to miss the shotgun because you walk into this main hall, you come in, and you know, we've got this like flickering light and green hollow lock to sort of
green.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
Revealing my color blindness.
Oh,
no, the blue hollow lock, which is supposed to like sort of guide you that way. And if you've got the key and you come in here, you can open this early and find out that there's a few extra goodies if you've been paying attention.
But you have to know that you're looking for the attention to pay in the first place.
What?
Yeah.
This rat, probably like one of my favorite little event sort of animations that very late in the process, but that's a rat made by Poppy and Adam. Oh, Poppy did the
she did the run cycle.
She did the run cycle
for it.
Yeah, and then you did the reaction.
Yeah, like I had to reanimate it sort of from point A to point B as he sort of scurries off. But Poppy did the initial like 3 or 4 frame run cycle, so that was very helpful in getting it done, because I'm like, I don't know, you know, I have to look up how a rat runs. But then when she delivered it, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty straightforward. I'll just mimic that and then make it move.
sort of like picking up a lot of. Oh, I don't want to miss this event either. So like we've had a lot of efforts to make sure that like this is not missed. But this is like a very minor environmental puzzle, which there's a hidden staircase which you'll need to find to progress the level.
There were quite a few iterations of this throughout the development process, whether it was a red light, a green light, how far into the room it spilled, this sort of thing.
Should I be like, I should probably open these evidence items and have a look at them right as I find them?
I mean, you can show it off.
Yeah, because it's like a good chance to show, again, this is like a UI design that Adam and I had been like working on as like mock-ups, and then basically implemented by Eric as part of the main demo build so far. But yeah, you've got your evidence tab. We've got this like graduation letter from Gabe. This is, I guess, a very thinly veiled attempt to make you care about Gabe, considering you
don't know him yet.
Yeah, there's like a 30 seconds a minute of Chloe and Gabe with their banter at the start, and then they separate, and spoilers, we want you to care about Gabe so that when you see him in danger later on, there's a little bit of investment there. So we've got the graduation letter, and then as you go through, we've got these little evidence items, which sort of, I guess the main goal, surprise surprise, is going to be sort of giving a little bit of background for the location, but sort of teasing the story behind the Dream Eater that you're going to be facing in this area. So a lot of these sort of evidence items are really alluding to how sus Goliath are as a company, and specifically how Dr. Stillman, a lot of his sort of experimentation that was going on just before the offices were abandoned.
Yeah.
So this one's like contents of shipment are classified, keep refrigerated, and ignore any sounds coming from the crates. Just very like, obviously moving around live samples of things sort of thing. And then you've got this archive request, which is alluding to the moving of the Goliath headquarters from the old office, which is what you're in, to the new headquarters, and I guess like a little bit of the internal politics of the company, as like certain things are being moved and other employees are being left behind and stuff like that. So really trying to get a lot of those seeds planted for like, why is this building the way it is, and why you're going to find a lot of the things in later areas.
It fills in all the gaps where it's kind of like, okay, from room to room I'm understanding this and that and all this sort of business, and then as you pick up little elements here and there, you get to know what is going on. If Goliath wasn't sus enough already, now you actually have the proof.
Also, this is like that classic, to me this is like very Souls level design, where you basically walk in and you see your end goal, and it's like, now you'll come back here with the means to open that, even though there's no signposting. So look at the Goliath board of directors, got their nice and portrait-esque.
Here's a twist. None of them are real. Well, one of them is. Spooky.
That's very ominous.
Yes. I won't elaborate on
we
that.
will not elaborate.
I will not elaborate on that any further.
So yeah, I guess this encounter is pretty funny because it's like if you haven't really played this game before, it might be difficult to deal with two vermin. But I think it's pretty, like, it makes sense to hide the shotgun behind this somewhat difficult encounter.
I think the balancing has actually worked out really well for this part, just because the average person wouldn't think to backtrack all the way out here. Like, it wasn't an immediately evident thing you could do, like going back through two rooms that you've already like explored, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you need 2 cards to get in here,
yeah.
And it sort of is really asking like players who are either already familiar with the game or familiar with the genre in general, and so it feels like worthwhile throwing a more intense encounter at them first.
I like the balancing mainly because the shotgun changes so much about the rest of the playthrough. If you don't get the shotgun, you will struggle, and we knew that pretty early on. It was very difficult. It took me like an hour, maybe, to really get the hang of how to kill the vermin without dying myself over and over again. So I think once you get the shotgun, the balancing becomes a lot more leveled, and it's a lot more of like a shoot 'em up at that point, where you just kind of like, shoot this guy, blow a leg off, blow an arm off. But yeah, to sort of get that level of power, I think having this little bit of a, hey, you enter a room with a pistol and GG.
Yeah, I mean they hit like a truck.
Yeah, so you have to take on two at the same time, and they're on opposite sides of like the locker. So when you enter the room, you kind of hope you only pull aggro from one of them. But yeah, being able to handle that, I think, is deserving of the shotgun in the first place.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a it's tough if you're not really engaging with a lot of the core mechanics, which, I think you can talk about how like maybe this is not signposted enough. I guess like a lot of games these days, you have like a on-screen prompt that's like, shoot vermin on the limbs, and
just shoot vermin off.
Yeah, just shoot vermin off. And we haven't really got that in this demo, and you're sort of throwing a lot of players into the game and just expecting them to, instinctively shoot the limbs is not necessarily. It's pretty counterintuitive, I think. Like,
especially
a lot of people,
considering the design of the vermin as well.
Yeah, that head really stands out. So we're dropping down into what is going to be, I think, most players' first encounter, which is a custom a custom vagrant, where he's set up to have like a limited move set and move a little bit slower as he approaches you, just to sort of help new players line up that first shot. If you shoot him in the head, you're going to see that the sparks are coming off, and so hopefully that's a good indicator for most players that headshots don't do any damage. But again, I think a lot of the game explains itself to you, but also sort of asks you to be like, actually looking at what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we got like more evidence. Pop back in here. When we got the shotgun, we also picked up the owner's manual, just like a little in-world, what they call the shotgun, the multi-purpose riot dispersal device,
for short,
yeah. And then the fridge note, which, please stop leaving food out. I saw something big on the counter eating someone's lunch yesterday.
I really got to backface that as well. I keep forgetting. It's one of those things that slips through the cracks every now and then.
Yeah, just like
it
the
just
little
disappears.
things. Yeah, so this is like, is it a rat? Is it one of the vermite, which you'll find later on? Kind of up to the player to...
Show the flies.
Oh yeah, the flies here.
Disgusting.
Buzzing around.
I love the flies. I do like the level of like open door and then there's a hallway with another door. Which is kind of like, okay, there's the goal. I hope I don't die along the way.
Again, this is like, if this is your first, like if you've just been following through the way we think a lot of new players will go, where they face off against the kitchen vagrant and then they come into here. This is going to be your first, I think, like encounter with a vagrant hiding in a cupboard, and it's kind of like technically the only time we do that in this level, but
Whoa.
I think it's like a nice organic jump scare that like either happens or doesn't happen depending on whether you kill him in the hallway or come in here first, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, nice.
I won't waste all the shotgun ammo because I do need to sort of balance that a little bit because it's going to be very helpful.
I've found myself initiating with the shotgun, and then once they're down, like usually I'll blow a leg off or something, and then I'll finish them off with the handgun. That way it keeps a nice amount of ammo, and I'm always constantly switching weapons and reloading, but it feels like I'm getting the most out of both.
Yeah, no, I think that's a that's a sort of organic play that you want to see. You know, that like actual sort of juggling of.
It's like
of
I've already
types.
shot his leg off. You know, I don't need to shoot him again with the shotgun. I could. It's fun. And the ragdolling is great. I love the ragdoll. But yeah, I'm very precious of my shotgun ammo.
Yeah, I would say that the game is like balanced pretty well. That you can, at this point in time.
Oh yeah, you don't need to.
You can kill every enemy in the game. Like, you don't have to save your ammo like that. You don't really have to run past anything.
Yeah, no.
But if you want to, you could sort of
For
just...
peace of mind.
Yeah, you could just shoot off all their legs
So I woke up.
and leave them like that. You don't have to kill them. You can sort of just...
It's a bit riskier in this room.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, getting them on the ground...
Sneak up.
Getting them on the ground, crawling around is... kind of increases the difficulty.
I'll bite your legs off! Oh. And then another guy. Yeah, it's like... It's
It would be embarrassing if I died in
Please don't die in here. Oh god.
I like to think I'm playing because, like, you know, I've had the most playtesting, but...
You are gonna get swiped at.
Yeah, sure. I'll heal.
Ah, much better.
I want to stamp him to death, because we have the Stomp.
True.
The Stomp is risky in
A
this.
1v1, just punch him up. Yep. Get him! Feed him! Okay, well.
We'll power up the Stomp, so it's a little bit more satisfying.
That's right, that was on the cards to tweak, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To be a bit more satisfying to, like...
Yeah, we don't want that Stomp to be, like, the end move for every enemy. I think is, like, you know, you give it a little bit too much power and it's like, you're going to watch very ammo-conscious players, like, refuse to shoot down vermin. It's like...
Some playthroughs we have seen even do that already. Even with the extremely, like, not strong Stomp. That just doesn't do much damage at all, and you'll still see people trying to finish off enemies that way.
Oh, we got that. The mesh. There it is. When the shotgun mesh didn't load.
Oh, I didn't even notice it. Whoa!
Oh yeah.
This guy is the best vermin in the world.
When you just cop that wild swinging attack, this is a little bit of it. You haven't seen this. I've put the organic growth in here for the corpse processor TV. Again, a little tease of what's to come in the basement.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I feel like these are the things that make, if you've played the demo, you'll have a lot of understanding of what we're talking about with like combat difficulty and things like that. But if you're completely new to it, you're going to be seeing all these like things that you have no idea are completely new to this build. I really should be like showing off those signs everywhere a little bit more.
You're going to get ganged up on.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that last guy.
I never forget about this guy. He's the one that ended my run like every single time when I first did the demo build. Sometimes he's completely oblivious, and then other times he's on you from the second you enter the room.
Yeah, he's really good at staying in his section.
It's like, yeah, every run through is different with this guy, I found.
That's like that mix of some of them are on like a bit of a patrol and the others are on a sort of they're monster closeting. You know, they're just like waiting for you in specific spots. And we just picked up another evidence item. This is the classic. Yes, they are actually reading your emails. So like a little bit of a conversation between two Goliath employees who are starting to worry that the company is actually reading their emails, and they are right. So, you know.
Just a suit at Goliath.net or whatever it was.
Yeah, they're very self-aware employees. Again, this is like another event that Adam...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong here. It's just a hallway.
The blackout alley where...
Oh god, this guy.
Yeah, I got the stumble, which is probably the worst vermin reaction you can get because they stumble right towards you.
I do like the way that Eric's kind of like brought the vagrants up to snuff in terms of difficulty. If you enter a hallway and the entire encounter can change based on like whether a crate is on the left or right wall. And it's like, if you don't kill that guy before he gets to those crates, it's a very narrow area and you've got like nowhere to run. You can always go back to the other room.
I should equip that Maxi Helix.
Yeah, that would probably be an idea. I like this room. He's literally me, for real, for real.
I wonder how many people just come in and shoot him
Whoa,
in the back of the
Jesus.
head instead of, like walking around
Yeah.
and seeing that. You know?
I feel like in an alternate universe, that could have been the first vermin encounter.
Maybe.
Where you enter the room and he's sitting there and you're like, oh, this is a bad guy. I'm gonna try and shoot him, and then it just does nothing. He's still just staring straight ahead. You know, the head has a little bit of sparks or whatever, but because it's effectively just reinforcing what you've already established.
Yeah.
You can't kill him with.
I mean, I guess a big thing for the events is like really just, like seeding in those few moments where the vagrants have like a glimmer of their humanity. Where they're not completely animalistic. Like sometimes when they're not really hunting or looking for prey, they just sort of revert to...
They vibe.
Yeah, they have like old behaviors. Like that one's watching the TV. The one in the kitchenette was like standing in front of the microwave. Like there are these sort of like weird vestiges of like their humanity.
Which is weird too, because he's wearing a VR headset.
When I paused there, because like we've got another one of these triggerable events that I didn't want to spoil.
No, you should have then pretended to be scared.
And then the back events, yeah.
Was this room rebalanced yet, or was that still on the cards with the other guy?
Oh no,
that guy.
I think he is.
Because this guy also ended many of my runs.
Yeah, well, this guy can be at the moment. He can be awakened. He can be awakened by you fighting in the storage room. Like the gunfire will activate him, and he likes to hang up near the door sometimes, and that means that
I've seen him on the stairs before. So when the door opens, he's to my right, and I don't know because of the guy on the left, and then I get my neck clawed out.
In demo 2, he'll be set to he won't activate until the first vermin is dead. Just so that's a little bit. Would I say fairer for players?
Yeah, because it was unintentional mechanics where it's kind of like you went to the room and then there's a guy on me.
We really don't want him coming down the stairs at you. Like it's a little bit unfair when you're like focused entirely on the one hiding behind the boxes.
Yeah.
So we got this what's supposed to be a little bit of a eureka moment. You've come through the classic this door does not open from this side sort of thing. You're back at the start. You now, if you've been properly grabbing all the cards and investigating all the spaces, you should have the supervisor's ID to get into the sealed lab. And if you found the other 2 locker access cards, you will enter that area with a whole bunch of extra ammo and health, which will be very helpful for the basement areas. But depending on...
We are planning on having like better visual indicators of like what you've unlocked here as well in this room.
Yeah. There's some UI improvements that will maybe demo 2, most likely demo 3. I think we're going for like, but
not hand holding, but giving you something to be more understanding off the bat. Where it's kind of like, that's what that does.
We definitely want those tutorial prompts in the public demo just to make sure these core gunplay mechanics and especially the unicorn mechanics. We do really want to like sort of pause the game, just be like, here's an encounter. It's going to be really helpful if you understand that like parrying is a thing.
Yeah.
Can I open that? There we go.
It's a re-trigger.
Of the big doors. And your first prowler. I mean, like, I'm tempted to like let him hit me just to show.
He should be a one-shot. He's not, but he is relentless.
He is a little bit rebalanced since the first demo.
Jesus!
Quite difficult. But, once you get one limb off...
He should have some sort of, like, roll attack. Where once he's like this, if he just gets into a ball, he can do it like Rammus from League of Legends, if you know him. Yeah. What the... Damn.
Yes.
Anyway.
Stupid, sexy prowler.
Yeah. Horrifying. And that's the way we like it. I think obviously in general with the project there's a lot of audio sound effects to fix up here and there. A lot of it is temp at the moment. But getting all of this in place was like very satisfying early on. I think it's been shifted around since with like the hissing or whatever, but
Yeah.
there was like a couple of bugs. But
I want this to be a big moment.
yeah,
You know, you've been probably watching this again. If you're new to Samurai Unicorn, you're like, why is the game called Samurai Unicorn and there is no
samurai
or
nor unicorn.
Yeah, it's like we're getting to it. That's going to be
Hold your horses.
Exactly. Demo 2, we will introduce you to Unicorn. I'm going to heal up, even though Chloe is about to
Just to be safe.
bite it. And have one last look at a piece of evidence before we move on. So we've got the severing of the left hand appears to have done no long-term damage to the host, but the gauntlet remains as of yet unresponsive to new symbiotic bonds. Fortunately, our backer is so delighted with our initial test that they have sent a second organism for us to conduct further trials with, and I can think of no other suitable host worthy of this power than myself. Dr. Stillman, the egomaniac,
The guy.
yeah, just in case you haven't realized, is Corpse Processor, the first boss.
Oh.
Yeah, huge spoilers in this demo playthrough. Very important to equip the gun because we have not implemented a weapon switch in cutscenes. But
You don't want the shotgun.
yeah, you don't want the
firing
shotgun in this cutscene. So everybody, please equip the handgun before triggering this cutscene.
for cinematic effect.
This is probably, I mean, like, I love what you've done with all the cutscenes in the game, but this one is the one with the atmosphere. You know, like it's got that build up. It doesn't waste your time. Like it gets straight into the action.
Yeah.
It's like very ominous. Close struggling against the parasitic gauntlet in its monstrous form.
I'm really glad that actually ended up the way it did, though. I was concerned about getting the hand like too fix to her arm, so
Yeah.
I'm really glad that ended up working.
So yeah, that's the end of the demo playthrough.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, cliffhanger. Before we go, I wanted to head over to the end credits and take a look at the full team of people who are working to make this game possible. We don't have the cast list up yet, but so far you've heard Emma Jensen, who is playing Chloe, as well as Sean Foley, currently filling in as our temp Gape, but in Demo 2 you will be introduced to Sean's main role as Unicorn himself. Then we've got Eric, who for geographical reasons was not able to jump in on this commentary, but he is the lead programmer on the project and pretty well responsible for the entirety of the project's programming so far. We've got Ridge, who came on board this year and has been doing a lot of the concept art, signage, and also those stickers you might have been getting each month if you support us over on Patreon. Then there's Rob, who made those great city buildings you see in the opening cutscene, but he's also been working on some pretty exciting stuff that will be coming up soon. Poppy and Ember made the bin chickens and rats, as well as the majority of the particle effects for this demo, though I think you're going to see a lot more of their prop work in Demo 2. And finally, we've got Darren and Dominic, who have been working on the music for the game, like the cutscene score and exploration themes. Anyway, that will do us for this commentary. If you made it to the end, I'll just quickly say the best way to support the project is to wishlist the game on Steam, but you can also subscribe to the Patreon and join the Discord community. Until next time,
Thanks for watching.